What is up, guys? EJ here, back with another video, and today it's going to be my DVD collection 2016 and Crime Part 1. So let's get started with 2 Days in the Valley. Really terrific film from 1996. Another one of these Canadian releases. Got the French title there, Toujours dans la Vallée. Yeah, really good film that I rewatched a couple months ago. Charlize Theron, Jeff Daniels, James Spader, Terry Hatcher, Danny Aiello, Eric Stoltz. Sort of a Pulp Fiction ripoff back in the day. Next we have After the Sunset from 2004, really good Brett Ratner film, heist movie with Pierce Brosnan, Woody Harrelson, Selma Hayek, and Don Cheadle. Up next we have The Anderson Tapes from 1972, really interesting film with Sean Connery and Diane Cannon, Christopher Walken as well. Yeah, really good movie. Okay, moving on down here. Up next we have At Close Range from 1986 with Sean Penn and Christopher Walken again. Up next we have Bad Lieutenant from 1992, directed by Abel Ferrara. Fantastic performance by Harvey Keitel, of course. Yeah, I wasn't really a fan of the sequel, Port of Call in New Orleans, with Nicolas Cage. I like Nicolas Cage as an actor, but I didn't like that movie. Up next we have Bandits, Barry Levinson film from 2001. About bank robbers. Great performances by Bruce Willis and Billy Bob Thornton. Kate Blanchett, wonderful as the bored housewife who goes along for the ride. Okay, up next we have The Bank Job from 2008 with Jason Statham and Saffron Burrows. Yeah, good little movie. Up next we have Better Luck Tomorrow, Justin Lin film from 2003. Yeah, about Asian high schoolers basically get bored and turn to sort of petty crime. Next we have The Big Easy from 1987. Of course, very steamy crime film with Dennis Quaid and Ellen Barkin. Up next we have Black Rain, great Ridley Scott film from 1989, starring Michael Douglas and Andy Garcia. Up next we have Blow from 2001, really underrated Ted Demme film. Fantastic performance by Johnny Depp. Penelope Cruz, really good as well. About a cocaine drug dealer. Fantastic film. Next we have Blown Away from 1994. Good Mad Bomber film set in Boston with Tommy Lee Jones. Fantastic performance by him. Jeff Bridges as the cop. Trying to bring him down. Yeah, great music with U2, of course. Fantastic movie. Next we have Bonnie and Clyde from 1967, one of my favorite films of the 60s. Warren Beatty, fantastic. Faye Dunaway, great as well. Of course, with a young Gene Hackman and a young Gene Wilder, who sadly passed away this week. God, I'm just going to be able to put that back in right like that. Okay, up next we have The Boondock Saints from 1999. Really good film. Yeah, with William Dafoe, Sean Patrick Flannery. Wasn't really a fan of the sequel, so I don't have that one. Get back in there. Okay, next we have Boys in the Hood from 1991. Fantastic John Singleton film, of course. Yeah, great cast: Ice Cube, Cuba Gooding Jr., Morris Chestnut, Neil Long, Angela Bassett, Lawrence Fishburne. As relevant now as it was back then. Next we have Brick, great Ryan Johnson film from 2005 with Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Really interesting cast and really interesting dialogue. Just a really cool film. I like that movie a lot. Next we have Bullet from 1968. Fantastic film, of course, with Steve McQueen, Robert Vaughn, Jacqueline Bisset. Yeah, Robert Duvall as well. Of course, fantastic car chases. I also have a replica of the 1968 Ford Mustang from that film. Next we have Catch Me If You Can. Fantastic film from Steven Spielberg from 2002. One of my favorites of the decade. Great fun. Leo DiCaprio and Tom Hanks. Just a wonderful, fun movie. Okay, up next we have City of God, also from 2002. Yeah, the side of Rio that the Olympics didn't show you. Of course, about the crime in the favelas in Rio de Janeiro. A lot of them teenagers. Yeah, cool film. Next we have Collateral from 2004. Fantastic Michael Mann film with a great performance by Tom Cruise and Jamie Foxx. Just a really cool film. Next, we have Confessions of a Dangerous Mind from 2002. Really good film directed by George Clooney, who, of course, stars in the film. Centered around the Gong Show with Sam Rockwell. Fantastic performance. Drew Barrymore as well. Next, we have Confidence from 2003, I believe. Yeah, big fan of Rachel Weisz, Dustin Hoffman, Andy Garcia, and Edward Burns. Really good film about con men. Up next, we have Copland from 1997. Great, is it James Mangold film? Yeah. Yeah, one of my favorite movies starring Sylvester Stallone that's not a Rambo, Rocky, or now Expendables film. He's really good in this. Harvey Keitel, Ray Liotta, Robert De Niro, just fantastic cast. Really good film. Next, we have Dark Blue from 2003. Really good film starring Kurt Russell, set in 1991 and the riots in Los Angeles. Up next, we have Dick Tracy, of course, directed by Warren Beatty, who stars in the movie from 1990. Madonna, of course, as well. Up next, we have Dirty Harry from 1971, of course, Clint Eastwood classic. 2-disc special edition. Yeah, still haven't picked up the rest of those Dirty Harry collection movies. Alright, up next we have Dog Day Afternoon from 1975, one of my favorite films of the decade. Fantastic Sidney Lumet film, starring Al Pacino and John Cazale. Up next we have Drive from 2011 on Blu-ray, of course, with Ryan Gosling, Nicholas Winding Refn film. Yeah, really great soundtrack. I loved the beginning of the movie and the soundtrack of this movie, but a lot of the movie I didn't care for. Yeah, I like this film a lot. Carey Mulligan, Bryan Cranston, Christina Hendricks. Cool film. Next, we have Eastern Promises from 2008, I believe. Really good David Cronenberg film with Viggo Mortensen, Naomi Watts, and Vincent Cassel. Okay, up next we have Easy Rider from 1969, 35th Anniversary Deluxe Edition. Of course, classic counterculture road trip film with Peter Fonda, Dennis Hopper, who directed the film, and Jack Nicholson. Just recently picked this up on Criterion Collection as well. I kept this edition because it has the soundtrack as well, and the Criterion doesn't have the soundtrack. Next we have End of Watch from 2012 on Blu-ray. Yeah, really good film with Jake Gyllenhaal and Michael Pena as two cops taking on the cartel. Next we have Entrapment. When did this come out now? My God, I'm completely blanking on the year that this came out. Anyway, fantastic movie. I absolutely love this film. 1999, sorry, yeah. Sean Connery, Catherine Zeta-Jones, just sexy as hell in this. Ving Rhames. Who else is in this? Yeah, it's got a really good cast. Yeah. Anyway, really good film. Great heist movie. Just love that movie. Up next, we have Fargo from 1996, of course, by the Coen brothers. Probably their best film still. Frances McDormand, William H. Macy, Steve Buscemi. Just a great film. Next, we have Formula 51 from 2002, I believe. Yeah, fun film with Samuel L. Jackson, Robert Carlyle, Meatloaf, Emily Mortimer. Yeah, cool film. Up next, we have Four Brothers from 2005. Yeah, really good film with Mark Wahlberg, Tyrese Gibson, Andre Benjamin, and Garrett Hedlund. Okay, up next we have Freeway from 1996. A really good film with Kiefer Sutherland and Reese Witherspoon. One of my favorite performances by Reese Witherspoon in that movie. Next we have The French Connection. Fantastic film, of course. Yeah, great film. Directed by William Friedkin. Gene Hackman, just fantastic. One of the best films of the 70s. Again, great car chases in that movie. Just great chases overall. Next we have Gangs of New York from 2002. Fantastic film, of course, directed by Martin Scorsese. Great performance by Daniel Day-Lewis as Bill the Butcher, Leo DiCaprio, and Cameron Diaz as well. Up next we have Gangster Number One from 2000 with Paul Bettany, Malcolm McDowell, David Toulis, and Saffron Burrows. Really good film. Up next we have Get Carter, the original from 1971 with Michael Caine. Wasn't a fan of the remake with Sylvester Stallone. Up next, another original Sam Peckinpah film, The Getaway from 1972. Steve McQueen and Ali McGraw. Fantastic movie. Up next we have Gran Torino from 2008. Of course, great film directed by Clint Eastwood, who stars in the movie, of course. One of his best films that he's directed. Next we have The Great Train Robbery from 1979. Huge fan of this film. Fantastic movie with Sean Connery, Donald Sutherland, and Leslie Ann Down. Just loads of fun. If you like heist movies, I can't recommend that movie enough. Up next we have The Grifters. A really good Stephen Frears film from 1990. John Cusack, Angelica Houston, and Annette Bening. Up next we have The Guard on Blu-ray from 2011. Really good film with Brendan Gleeson and Don Cheadle. Up next we have Heat, of course, classic 1995 Michael Mann film with Robert De Niro and Al Pacino, Val Kilmer. Really good supporting cast, people like Ashley Judd, Amy Brenneman, to name a few. Up next we have A History of Violence, another great David Cronenberg film with Viggo Mortensen, Maria Bello, Ed Harris, William Hurt from 2005. Another really underrated film from 2005 is Hostage with Bruce Willis. Really good film. Up next we have In the Heat of the Night, fantastic film from 1967 with Sidney Poitier and Rod Steiger. Okay, up next we have Heist from 2001. David Mamet film with Gene Hackman, Danny DeVito, Delroy Lindo. Yeah, really good film. Very talky for a heist movie. Next we have Inside Man from 2006. Yeah, good Spike Lee film. Denzel Washington, Clive Owen, and Jodie Foster. Okay, up next we have Insomnia from 2002. Christopher Nolan film, of course, with Al Pacino, Robin Williams, and Hilary Swank, a remake of a Swedish film that I have on Criterion Collection. Okay, up next we have The Italian Job, the original from 1969. Fantastic, of course, Michael Caine and Noel Coward. And of course I also have the remake from 2003. I like this film a lot with Mark Wahlberg, Edward Norton good as the bad guy, Charlize Theron, Jason Statham. Yeah, good film. Get back in there. Alright, up next we have Jack Reacher from 2012, I believe. Yeah, really good film. I like this film a lot with Tom Cruise. I thought it was pretty good. Okay, up next we have Jackie Brown, one of my favorite films, of course, by Quentin Tarantino from 1997. Pam Grier, just fantastic. Samuel L. Jackson, Martin Forster. Robert Forster, sorry. Robert De Niro, Bridget Fonda, just great. Okay, up next we have Killing Them Softly, also from 2012 with Brad Pitt, Richard Jenkins, one of the last films James Gandolfini made, I think. Ray Liotta. Yeah, really good film. I love the ending, like the last scene with Brad Pitt, just fantastic. I like that film a lot. Next we have King of New York from 1980. Another Abel Ferrara film with Larry Fishburne, back when he was called Larry David Caruso. Fantastic performance by Christopher Walken. And I'm going to end on the K's for this video with Knockaround Guys from 2002. Really good cast. Vin Diesel, Barry Pepper, Seth Green, John Malkovich, Dennis Hopper. Yeah, about a bunch of misfit small-time criminals who all get together. Interesting film. It got a bad rap. It got delayed and all kinds of shit. Anyway, so that's Crime Part 2. Up next will be so that was Crime Part 1, and up next it will be Crime Part 2. Thank you for watching as always, and until next time, I'll see you.